During the past weeks of the American History and Culture class, we explored gender throughout American history. It is crucial to evaluate gender in order to comprehend America culturally and socially. One of the many struggles in American history is the fight of a woman for gender equality, since gender inequality has been an issue since early years. Today, all citizens have the right to vote, but this scenario was different many years ago. Women have to deeply fight to accomplish suffrage in the United States. According to the National Women's History Museum website, the women's suffrage movement actually began in 1848, when the first Women's Rights Convention was held in Seneca Falls, New York. For the next 50 years, women's suffrage supporters worked to educate the public about the validity of human suffrage. Going back to the digital history text, the struggle for women's suffrage. As American states widened suffrage to include virtually all white males, however, they began denying the vote to free blacks and in New Jersey to women, who had briefly won this privilege following the Revolution. During the early 19th century, however, a growing number of women became convinced that they had a special mission and a responsibility to purify and reform America's society. In the primary source, R.C. Biddle and A.H. Brown of Men's League for Women's Suffrage of New York, receiving National Women's Suffrage Association banner from Frances Bjorkman, who was an activist in the women's suffrage movement. The picture was taken in August 26, 1913. The National Women's Suffrage Association was one of the main suffrage organizations in the United States during the 19th century. The National American Woman Suffrage Association. According to the website Britannica.com, the strategy of the newly formed organization was to push for the ratification of enough state suffrage amendments to force Congress to approve a federal amendment. The website brynmawr.edu stated that the National American Woman Suffrage Association represented millions of women and was the parent organization of hundreds of small local and state groups. The NAWSA hosted and participated in large and theatrical suffrage parades and held major annual conventions that helped to keep its members energized. The other aspect of the image is R.C. Biddle and A.H. Brown, who were members of the Men's League for Women's Suffrage of New York. According to the National Women's History Museum website, men were involved with the suffrage movement in the 20th century as well. Beginning in about 1910, men began forming men's leagues for women's suffrage. In 1912, the National Men's League had 20,000 members. During the 1910s and 1920s, male state legislators agreed to submit women's suffrage measures to states' voters. Millions of male voters voted to approve these measures. Union men, in particular, were often strong supporters of human suffrage. Moreover, the Spartacus Educational website reported that although the majority of men opposed the idea of a woman voting in parliamentary elections, some leading male politicians supported universal suffrage. In 1907, several left-wing intellectuals and 32 other men formed the Men Leagues for Women's Suffrage, with the object of bringing to bear upon the movement the electoral power of men, to obtain for women the vote on the same terms as those on which it is now or may in the future be granted to men. Knowing how strong the Men's League for Women's Suffrage and the National Women's Suffrage Association were, we can clearly see in the image that both parties are uniting their force in order to accomplish women's suffrage in the United States, which was a powerful move. The 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, women's right to vote, was a major accomplishment that changed the American history forever. According to the archive.gov website, passed by Congress June 4, 1919, and ratified on August 18, 1920, the 19th Amendment guarantees all American women the right to vote. Achieving these milestones required a lengthy and difficult struggle. Victory took decades of agitation and protest, beginning in the mid-19th century. Several generations of women suffrage supporters lectured, wrote, marched, lobbied, and practiced civil disobedience to achieve what many Americans consider a radical change of the Constitution. Few early supporters lived to see final victory in 1920s. In conclusion, it took many years of struggle to accomplish women's suffrage, which was a huge milestone in order to accomplish gender equality. Today, American women have the right to vote because of the brave women from the past who fought against gender inequality.